Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss about occurrence of metals and their extraction. So we will divide all the metals on the basis of their reactivity and then how those metals can be extracted from their ore, that we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, first of all, occurrence of metals, how metals occur. So in nature, metals are found in two forms. They are found in minerals as well as in ores. Now what is the difference between minerals and ores? Now see, earth crust is the major source of metals. Earth crust is the major source of metals. Seawater also contains some soluble salts such as sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, and so many salts are also there. So first of all, what are minerals? Minerals are the elements or compounds which occur naturally in the earth crust. Okay, those things which occur naturally in the earth crust, they are known as minerals. Now what are ores? Ores are those minerals in which there is high percentage of metals, and metal can be profitably and conveniently extracted from them. They are called ores. Okay. Now, so what we can say? We can say that all the ores are minerals, but all the minerals are not ores, because we cannot extract metal from all the minerals. Okay. Now one more thing is there, one word comes gangue or matrix. Now what do we mean by this? Now whenever we take ore from the earth crust, then there is presence of so many impurities. Those impurities are termed as gangue or matrix. Okay. Now how we will extract the metals? Okay. First of all, that activity series which we have done, that activity series is divided into three categories. First, bottom of the activity series. At the bottom there are elements gold, silver, platinum, copper. Okay. Then top of the activity series, where there are potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium. Okay. And then middle of the activity series, where zinc, iron, lead, etc., those elements are present. So why we have divided in three categories? Because according to their reactivity or how much reactive they are, they will be extracted from their ores. Okay. Now those elements which are at the bottom of the activity series, they are least reactive. Okay, they are least reactive. Their reactivity value is very low, so they are found in the free state. Okay, they are found in free state. For example, gold, silver, platinum, they will be occurring in the free state. Now sometime copper and silver, they are also found in combined state also, just like copper is found in the form of their sulfide or oxide. Okay. Now those metals which are on the top of the activity series, they are the most reactive elements, so they are never found as free. They are always found in the combined form. Okay. Now those elements which are in the middle of the series, their reactivity is neither very high nor very low. Okay, so they exist as oxides, sulfides, or carbonates. Now one thing is there, most of the ores, they exist in the form of oxides. Why? Because oxygen is the very reactive element and is found in maximum amount in the earth crust. Okay. Now let us look at the activity series. Now see, in this activity series we have divided into three categories. These are those elements which are highly reactive and they can be extracted by the process of electrolysis. These are the elements having moderate value of reactivity and they are reduced with the use of carbon. Here reduction means oxidation and reduction, which you know. What is reduction? It is the process of addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. Okay. So by the use of carbon we do this process. Okay. Now these are the elements which are least reactive and they are found in native state or free state. or they are not combined with any other element. Okay, now different techniques are used for their extraction, and how they are used, this is what we are going to do. Now see, it is just a summary of all the steps which will be involved. Now we start from the ore. First of all, what we will do, first of all, concentration of ore. This is called enrichment. We are going to study after this. Then once the ore is enriched, then it will fall under out of these three in any one of the category. Suppose it is of high reactivity, then what is to be done? We have to do electrolysis process, and then we will get the pure metal. If it is of medium reactivity, then it can be either carbonate ore or it can be sulfide ore. If it is carbonate ore, then the process calcination is done, and if it is sulfide ore, then the process roasting is done. Now whichever way we do it, we will be getting oxide of the metal at last, and then we will do the process of reduction, and then metal will be formed and that will be purified. Okay. Now in case of low reactivity, they are found in the form of sulfide ores, and then roasting process of the sulfide ore is done. After that we get the metal, and then we do the process of refining. Okay, so these are the different steps which are involved for all the different categories of ores. Okay, so we are going to discuss one by one these all. Now let us first do the first thing. What was that? Concentration of the ore. So it is also termed as enrichment of ore. Okay, now ore which is mined from the earth are usually contaminated with large amount of impurities. Okay, there is presence of impurities in ore, and those impurities are known as gangue or matrix. Okay, now these impurities must be removed from the ore so that we can use it for the extraction of metal. Now this process of removal of gangue from the ore, this is known as enrichment of the ore. Okay. Now which technique is to be applied for which ore, it depends on type of ore. Okay. So this is the process of enrichment of the ore. Now let us come to the first category. Suppose we have got the metal from very low activity, then how it is to be extracted. Okay, now see, metals low in the activity series are very unreactive. The oxides of these metals can be reduced to metals by heating alone. Now see, we have taken an example of cinnabar. If we take cinnabar, which is an ore of mercury, when we heat it, then it will form its oxide first. See, this is cinnabar, we heated it and we got its oxide. Now oxide of mercury is it undergoes reduction. Reduction means, in this case here, it is loss of oxygen. So there is formation of mercury. So in case of cinnabar, when we have to extract mercury, what we did, we simply heated it in the process in the presence of air, and then its oxide was formed. Then oxide undergoes reduction, and then mercury is obtained. Okay. Now similarly, copper, if we want to extract, it is found in the form of sulfide ore in the earth crust. So we do its oxidation first, or we can say we burn it or we heat it in the air first. There is formation of its oxide. That oxide combines with the sulfide ore, and there is formation of copper in the form of molten state. Okay, so this is the way how we can extract our copper metal from Cu2s, means its sulfide ore, and mercury from its cinnabar ore. Okay. Now those metals which are in the middle of the series, how do we extract them? Now see, we have to convert those ores into their oxides. The process of conversion may be by roasting or maybe by calcination. So where we will apply roasting? So roasting is the process of heating the ore in the presence of air. Okay, so we will take that ore for roasting in which oxygen is absent first. Okay, so which ore will be that? Sulfide ore. If it is sulfide ore, then it means oxygen is not there inside. So when we will do roasting, then O will enter in the metal and oxide will be formed. Okay, so sulfide ores undergo roasting. Similarly, calcination is the process of heating the ore in the absence of air. So we need that ore which has the presence of oxygen in the beginning itself. So which ore undergoes calcination? It is carbonate ore. Carbonate ore undergoes calcination and there is formation of oxide ore. Okay, so whichever process we use, we will be getting its oxide ore. Okay, so now what we said just now, in the middle of the activity series, those elements which are in the middle of the activity series, they are present as sulfides or carbonates. Okay, now when we want to obtain the metal, then it is easier to obtain it from its oxide. So they need to be converted into their oxide ore, and it can be done by either calcination or by roasting. Okay, so once we have done this, then we will be getting the metal. Now let us consider one example. For zinc ore we will take. Now see, if zinc is in the form of sulfide ore, then we will do the process of roasting and we will heat it in the presence of air. There will be formation of its oxide ore. Okay, and if it is present in the form of its carbonate ore, then we will perform the process of calcination and there will be formation of oxide ore of zinc. Now when we obtained the oxide ore of zinc, then we will heat it with a suitable reducing agent, and here the reducing agent used is carbon. Okay, so we will heat the oxide ore with carbon and this will give rise to pure zinc. Okay, zinc will be formed and that can be purified by other processes. Okay, now one more process is there which is called thermit reaction. Now if you will see, then it is the reaction which is highly exothermic. Okay, so this process occurs for those elements which are having high reactivity. For example, see, sodium, calcium, aluminium, they show high reactivity, so they can act as reducing agent and they can displace metals of lower reactivity from their compounds. Okay, now let us take this example. If we take Fe2O3 with aluminium, okay, then aluminium is having very much reactivity and it will replace Fe from its place and it will form Al2O3 and iron will be formed. Now see, here a very important thing is state of iron. Iron is formed in the liquid state and lot of heat is produced. So because of this property that iron comes in liquid state, this reaction is used for joining the railway tracks. Okay, so what we do, see in this picture you can see here some line is there and that line is broken. Now we want to join it. This portion is to be joined. So what we are going to do, we will perform thermit reaction over here which will produce too much energy and that energy will bring this iron into molten form, and when it comes in molten form then it will join with each other. Once it solidifies then it will be a proper joint. Okay, so what is thermit reaction? Many times we are asked. So what we will say, the reaction of iron oxide with aluminium to form iron in the molten state with release of large amount of energy is called thermit reaction, and then you will write this reaction also. Okay, so this is thermit reaction. Now let us come to extraction of metals which are in the top of the activity series. Now as we discussed first, that these will be extracted by the use of electrolytic reduction. There is a process called electrolysis. So whichever metal we want to extract, we will take its electrolyte, and that electrolyte will be taken either in its aqueous state or in its molten state, and then only it will conduct electricity. Now let us suppose that we are going to extract sodium. Then what we will do? We will take sodium chloride in its molten state, not in aqueous state. Okay, this is very important here. In aqueous state some other reaction will occur. Okay, so we will take sodium chloride in its molten state, and then we will perform the process of electrolysis. When we perform the process of electrolysis, then what happens? At cathode, cation goes to the cathode, and there is the process of reduction. Anion goes to the anode, and there is process of oxidation. So sodium undergoes reduction and forms sodium metal. Chloride ion undergoes oxidation and forms chlorine gas. And so after the electrolysis of molten sodium chloride, we get sodium metal at cathode and chlorine gas at anode. Okay, so this is the process of electrolysis. Okay, now whatever we have discussed here, on the basis of that you have to solve these home assignments. Okay, thank you.